Guys, we need to talk. Not only do I have an extremely exciting announcement from the Broken Binding, but I also want to give you some updates about the future of the channel, my blog, my Instagram page, and so on. If you're only interested in updates about my channel, then just go to this timestamp. But if you're watching this video, then there's a good possibility you are here because the Broken Binding sent you here. So let's talk about that first, shall we? Also, please consider subscribing. Thank you so much. So, if you didn't know, The Broken Binding is my favorite indie bookstore. I've been following them since they launched, and I even have a discount code here, which can give you 5% of any purchase. But in the past year, they branched into special editions, and if there's one special edition that has really stood out, then it's the Dandelion Dynasty signed and numbered special editions, which did last year. They only did 300 numbered copies and 52 lettered editions of these books, which makes them super rare. I was given pre-sale access to these beautiful books, but due to the price tag and due to me not ever having heard about these books, I didn't buy them. But oh boy, do I regret not buying these. Since the release of these editions, I've been trying to find these online because I have a very strong feeling that these books would be right up my alley. Not only is this an Asian-inspired epic fantasy, which is one of my favorite subgenres, but apparently this is also filled with riveting dialogue and politics, which sounds awesome. Also, these editions are insanely beautiful, and I know that I have not been the only one that has been hunting for these editions, because apparently the Broken Binding gets daily messages about these editions. Yes, people are asking daily about these books. So I talked to the Broken Binding about if they potentially were going to print more of these editions, and the sad news is that they said no. But there is hope. Yes, there is actually some fantastic news, especially for you guys who regret not buying these. So the Broken Binding isn't going to make another batch of these exact books, but they will be releasing a new special editions of the whole of the Dandelion Dynasty, which is being called the Midnight Editions. I am so happy. So what does this mean? Well, they're still working on the final details, but the plan is that these books will have an alternative color scheme on the cover, they will be signed, and have the same design on the edges as the previous special editions. Now, I'm announcing this very early because they don't expect these books to be ready until sometimes in early 2023. And they really need to know if there's an interest in these books. So, I don't have any details regarding price, release date, and so on, but if you want to make sure to stay up to date about these books, then I will leave a link in the description down below where you can fill out your details, and then you will receive updates about pricing and etc. And that will also give the Broken Binding a better understanding of how many people are interested in buying these. Also, a special thanks to the Broken Binding for teaming up with me. I'm a huge fan of their store, so it's really a dream come true to be able to work with them on this. So that is it. Now let's talk about some live updates, some updates regarding my YouTube channel, my blog, Instagram page, and so on. Let's start with the state of my YouTube channel. Firstly, I want to say thank you to you guys who have made my first 6 months so incredibly memorable and special. I have passed 5,000 subscribers, and I've come in contact with a lot of people here in this community whom I have been a big fan of for years. This journey has been absolutely insane and ever so rewarding, so thank you guys. So I want to cover two areas regarding my YouTube channel. I want to talk about my short-term plans and then some long-term plans or ambitions regarding this channel. So I've now officially finished my undergraduate, and my wife and I are going to be traveling for 2 weeks. We'll be going to Slovenia for a week and then to Denmark for a week before we head back home to the Faroe Islands, where we're going to be working for about 5 weeks. So I finished uni about a month ago, and I have been working extremely hard on trying to make some videos that can go live on this channel while I am away. And the good news is that that goal has been reached. I have at least 4 videos ready that will probably post every 5 days or so, so there will be definitely content coming on the channel while I'm away. However, I only have content until approximately mid-July, which is when I'll be back home in the Faroe Islands and be working, so I know I'll be much busier at that time. I'm still planning on posting every 5 days or so, but I might have to decrease it to only 1 video a week, depending on how busy I am. I really do believe that quality over quantity is important, and I'm willing to post less often in order to give you guys the best video possible. But yes, that is short term. The uploading schedule might be not as frequent, and I won't have these shelves behind me in my videos, but I'll be trying to be creative while I'm away. So what are my long-term plans and ambitions for this channel? Now, here I'll be totally transparent and open about some of my wildest dreams. While YouTube has been extremely overwhelming at times, it has also been incredibly rewarding and worthwhile. And I have now come to a place where I'm actually starting to earn a bit of money. Now, this money is nothing crazy at the moment, but the fact that my hobby can generate some revenue is just baffling. So let's talk about the big question, shall we? Am I striving to do YouTube full time? The answer to that might surprise you, and that is, I'm open to it. I love making videos and I love talking about my passion for books, and if I ever get to a stage where I can generate enough money to do this part-time or maybe sometimes full-time, then that is definitely something I would consider. Now, that dream and ambition is still very far away, and there's so many things that I still need to improve upon to make that a viable option. But I thought I should just be totally transparent about this. I also want to clarify that I'm only doing YouTube and book reviewing because I am passionate about books. I've been doing this for 18 months now, and I can assure you that this hobby has cost me much more financially than what I've earned, and I'm absolutely fine with that. This channel and what I do here is and will always be about my passion. But if you want to support my crazy dreams and also help me make better videos, then I do have a Patreon where you can support me monthly and receive some benefits. I'm actually working on something really exciting for my Patreon. My wife, she's an artist and has an Instagram page and has had art exhibitions and has sold a decent amount of art. And she came up with this idea of opening a higher tier where everyone who joins that tier will get a unique fantasy-related bookmark or art card sent every month or every 3 months. We're still trying to figure out all the details, and that will not be happening until we're back in the UK, but if that's something you would like to see, then let me know. Also, a special thanks to my patrons who support me in my passion for books. Thank you so much. Alright, let's talk about my blog and my Instagram page. And again, I think it's important to be totally transparent and honest about my feelings about these platforms. Firstly, my Instagram profile has experienced a staggering growth in the past 2 months, and I am now nearing 20,000 followers, which is insane. While I'm planning on taking some pictures before I leave the UK, my posting there will probably become a bit more infrequent and also potentially a bit different. While I'm still passionate about my Instagram page, I do not see myself having the time and energy to maintain and post as frequently on my Instagram page and YouTube channel, so I kind of feel like I need to make a decision. Either prioritize YouTube or Instagram. And for now, I'm just more excited about YouTube. That doesn't mean I'll stop posting on my Instagram page, definitely not. It just means I might post 3 times a week instead of 5 or 6 times as I'm doing now. But if you aren't already, then you can check out my Instagram page, link in the description down below. Then lastly, let's talk about my blog. I created the Library for Viking blog a year ago, and I'm really happy and proud about the development of the blog. I now have a large team of contributors who post frequently on the blog, and they are absolutely amazing. I will leave a link down below so you can see the contributors on the blog. I am really happy to have a blog since it adds another layer of professionalism, I suppose you could say, especially when it comes to indie authors or publishers using quotes from the reviews on the blog. I have also been enjoying having a platform where I can write longer thoughts on books, since Instagram does have a word limit and it's not ideal for very long posts. However, out of all the platforms I'm involved in, the blog is where I'm struggling the most. Firstly, people just aren't as interested in written reviews as TikTok and YouTube, and I totally get that. I am not as interested in reading written reviews myself, so it makes total sense. But what has made me feel a bit demotivated are primarily 2 aspects. Firstly, writing long reviews takes a long time, and I'm constantly in the situation where I have to decide if I should spend time on writing a review for my blog or if I should rather work on a YouTube video. And the honest truth is that not as many people visit my blog as my Instagram page or my YouTube, so I sometimes do wonder, is it worth the effort, or should I maybe just fully devote myself to a smaller amount of platforms? Secondly, I always wanted to have a nice design for the blog and a domain, but having these 2 things is actually not cheap. I'm currently spending around £130 a year on keeping the blog live and having the domain, which is not crazy money, but I am a student and I have to be careful with my money. But I have paid for the domain and the design for another year, so the blog will not go anywhere in the next year. But I might explore some free or cheaper options for the blog. But again, just figuring that out takes a lot of time. Now, if you know how to change the blog to a beautiful but cheaper design, feel free to message me. So I think it's just important to be honest. I might delete the blog next year, or I might keep it and just do nothing. I just don't know what the future about the blog is, and I believe it's important for me to be open about this. I really hope the blog has a future, but we will see. It is important for me that I take care of my mental health and that I bring you guys the best content I can possibly give to you guys. And if that means taking the blog down in a year's time, then that's a price that I'm willing to pay. But for now, I'm hoping to keep the blog long term. But again, if you want to support me, then the money from my Patreon also goes to maintain the blog. So that is it. Thank you guys so much for watching my videos and for supporting what I do here. It means the world to me. See you guys in the next video.